What I learned in 10 years of being in a gang, these lessons are all going to be applicable to your life. So make sure you make notes. People are not how they appear. The guys that are always talking violence and this happened and I did this and he said what and then I did. Those guys generally aren't doing anything. The reason that they're presenting themselves like that is because they're like a puffer fish, you know? Yeah. And then but really and truly inside, they're scared little boys and they do not want those problems. And this is over men of all walks of life. So just bear that in mind. The quietly confident man is the one to avoid. Those men that don't say anything, they're not looking for any unnecessary issues. But then once it's on, you're fucked. So make sure you avoid those men at all costs. Women can be so devious, you wouldn't even believe it. Situation for you guys. So, through a line of work that I was doing, I've ended up meeting this woman, let's call her Sally, in this new area I've moved to. And Sally says to me, I might have something interesting. There's a guy that's got X, Y, and Z. You know, you'd be very well off if you went and saw him. So I've said, okay, cool. Taken note of what she said, gone and spoke to a friend that I'd made in the area. He actually ended up knowing this guy and said that what she was saying was rubbish. You know, he had no money and anything like this. But he had just broken up with a girl and was her name Sally? I said, yeah. And then the penny dropped. She was just trying to get someone else to do her dirty work. If you listen to the book, The 48 Laws of Power, there's something called a cat's paw. So she was effectively trying to use me as a cat's paw to get her revenge. So never underestimate women. Be careful of who you offend. Rich people, they will just pay someone to sort you out, whether that's violence wise, whether that's fucking up your career, whether that's ruining your name, whatever it is, a rich person can fucking destroy you. So be careful. Broke people, they've got nothing to lose and they've got unlimited time to spend on fucking your life up. So again, be careful. And girls, you don't know who they know. They could have crazy brothers, cousins, they could know some gangster ass dudes, or they could know some other people that can ruin your life in other ways. There's so many ways they can fuck you up. So be careful. Forgive, don't forget. So building from the last point, you can know someone's true behavior and their true nature. For example, how do they react when you say no to them? You know, if they ask you for a favor and you say no, you can't do it, how do they react? Take a fucking note of that. It can be advantageous to know someone or something and not reveal it. Keep it to yourself. Keep it as a hidden ace. I've been in situations where I've known someone's true nature and I've known how they're going to react to what I do next, and I've therefore manipulated the situation to be in my favor. Know it, don't show it. So that again builds on the last point. Once someone's shown you their true nature, make a fucking note of that. Know exactly who they are. You can forgive them, but you can't forget it. And this can be for your friends, enemies, associates, whatever. Just know who they are and you can piece together how they're going to react to whatever it is that you do or how you're going to manipulate the situation to be in your favor. And just before you start thinking I'm some evil geezer, the word manipulate means to handle a situation skillfully. So, speak less, listen more. Now, this is more of an issue in the crime world, but every time you speak is an opportunity for someone to learn something valuable about you or a potential target or enemy. In the normal life, the more you speak, the bigger risk you run of saying something stupid. This tactic can also be applied in a conversation you wish to learn or benefit from because people will speak more to fill the gaps when uneasy. I'll give you a perfect example of this actually. Guy I knew who's very clever, and this is where I sort of picked this up from. We'd gone to meet some other guys, and this is why the road thing's all crazy because it's the world of crime, but you're actually mingling and mixing with other criminals regularly, which just gives it a whole completely different dynamic. Anyway, we're with this guy, and my friend has sort of started playfully asking him questions about his other friend, but he started sort of mugging his friend off a bit. For example, he was saying, "Oh, is he still living in that? He's still living in that shit house. Da 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 da. He doesn't have any money." And then the guy's friend has replied, "No, he lives in a really nice area now. Da 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 da." And then my friend's been like, "Oh, what, one of them cheap little flats or whatever?" And then the other friends replied, nah, he lives in a new build. It's well nice. Now, with our local knowledge and the way that our brains work, we already know where this guy lives now. There's only one new build in the area. Sorted. So you can see how easy it is to get information about people like that. So be careful. Develop yourself as a man. The only successful criminals I knew had a high level of personal development. And I think that was what kind of got me into it, was seeing how these men operated and seeing the different results that they had compared to other people. Like, I'd know two people that did the exact same thing. One of them is broke, his life's a mess, and he just commits crime. I don't even really know why. And then the other one's driving a Range Rover, banging models, and living in penthouses. And they do the same thing. If they get caught, they're both going to jail for the same amount of time. But guy B is actually reaping the benefits. Guy A is just a mess. So, yeah, simple. They were organized, had a mission, had a why, and they were working hard towards being the person that they want with the life that they envisioned. And it's the same for you. You know, you have to have a why, and you have to think, this is who I want to be, and then reverse engineer that. If you actually want to know more about that type of stuff, click the link up there, and it will be to my, how to build your ideal life and your ideal self video. Always keep your heart clean. Never commit an act that would bring shame to your name. Illegal is one thing, immoral is another. Keep a clear conscience and operate like a professional. What do I mean with this statement? It's true. Illegal is one thing and immoral is another. So there are certain things that you could never come back from. And those are things that you absolutely have to refrain and steer clear from. And your name can have nothing to do with those sort of things. I'm not even going to dirty my video up with talking about them. But if you break the law, by accident or whatever it may be. I'm not condoning that sort of behavior, but I don't think anyone's going to look down on you for it. Never act on emotion. This is the easiest way to ruin your flow. Take yourself out of that winner's energy and into a vengeful mindset. When operating in this manner, you're vulnerable, you're easy to predict, and you will make mistakes because you're not thinking logically, you're thinking emotionally. And that's the worst thing. I'll give you an amazing example of this. I feel so sorry for this guy, but this is it. So, Geezer's doing well, making a lot of money. His phone was probably doing $1.5 grand, $2 grand a day. So what's that, like 60K a month? And this is a young guy, he's like 20, So he's just buying Jordans and doing this, doing that. Anyway, he's with this girl, and he's sort of not realized that he's been speaking to another girl, but he thought he was smart and he was doing it on his work phone, shall we say. On this work phone, his girlfriend was managing it for him one day while they're driving. He's got a new car, he's gassed, she's texting all the people, everything's cool. And then this girl's seen, this other girl's messaged him. She's kept it to herself though. In the moment, that is. And then guess what she's done? Of course she has. She's phoned the police, fucked up his whole thing, he's gone to prison. She hasn't thought, I'm about to ruin this guy's whole life. She's sort of bottled it up for the minute, and then when she was away from him, she's phoned the police, and now he's in jail. I think he's still there now. So, this is a perfect example of how women often act when they're hurt, is they do act solely on emotion without logic. And that was a very sad thing to see, because he was someone that was going to do a lot of things in life. And if you're out there watching this in jail, hope you're well, mate. Choose your company wisely. This is going to determine your success, your social settings and activities, and also your general lifestyle. What do I mean by this? Well, if you're hanging out with bum-ass guys that aren't really doing anything in their life, you're obviously going to be going to places where those kind of people go, instead of going to like a nice nightclub. I don't even condone that, just as you probably know. But you're not going to be going to that kind of place where there's going to be successful people, nice girls, whatever you may want to see there. What there are going to be is people that aren't really going anywhere in life and people that don't have much to lose. And as we've said in one of the previous slides, people that don't have much to lose, you want to avoid them like the plague, because you might offend them and now their whole life's mission is to fuck you up. The wrong people have you doing the wrong things. Again, I've seen this so many times on the road. Fucking hell. I actually knew a really nice guy. He got him with the wrong crowd. Ended up being somewhere he shouldn't have been. Someone got stabbed. They all went to jail. He went with them. So there you go. You can easily fall into a rut and get stuck in their ways and mindset. Do you know what? This actually happened to me. So when I first moved to the area I talked about earlier, and that friend I talked to about earlier, he was not a man that was going places in life. Let's just say that, to put it kindly. And I found myself, the longer I hung out with him, the worse I got. And when I eventually cut him off, my life elevated so quick and so fast. But it was because I hadn't seen that his mindset, his ways, his habits, they were rubbing off on me and they were really pulling me down because I was quite lost in my life. You know, I just moved to a new area. I didn't know anybody. My best friend was actually in prison at the time. So I was just a lone ranger and I was just looking for, I guess, some brotherhood and some company. But I'd always been lucky enough before to meet people and align with people that were the same as me. Me and this guy, we had a good friendship, but just business wise, it was not fucking good for me. So there's actually a song, I can't repeat the lyric perfectly, but it says a broke mindset rubs off on you quicker than some lotion. So yeah, surround yourself with winners and your life will elevate. And this is also true. I There was a time in my life where I was in London doing quite well for myself. Then I met another guy. He was doing quite well for himself. And then we came together and we were still doing business separately, but just, you know, we was together and both of us just leveled up so much. It was actually crazy. Like the guy I was with, he ended up making insane amounts of money and just doing things that people had never seen before. And I carried on doing extremely well and elevated to the next level of that. And my modus operandi changed. Don't brag. Regardless of how you currently live, this is going to help you. You have to stay out of the way. There's zero benefit to you mixing with low rent people and impressing them with what you have. The reason I say that is because it may feel good in the moment, but people like that, they're gonna be jealous. And jealousy is a terrible thing. I'll tell you why. Jealous will have them plotting on you. Jealous will have them trying to find out where you live. Jealous will have them trying to fuck up your whole life. So you're more than likely putting yourself in harm's way. Not all attention is good attention. More often than not, less attention is much better. So I'd be very careful about what you say and who you say it to. And I haven't made this video to try and make you scared or anxious about everyone you speak to, but just choose your words carefully and be careful with what you say. I know people that have said too much and they've put themselves in situations that could and would have been avoided. I'll give you an example. So I knew very nice guy, and he and I went to visit some other guys. You know, we're doing some work, and he'd just got a new car. And the geezers started quizzing him about this new car. How much do you pay for it? Da 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 da. The guy I'm with, this isn't my friend, by the way. This is just someone that I knew and I was working with. And the guys asked him, "Oh, how much do you pay for it?" And he said, "Oh, I gave like fucking $8,000 for it or whatever, but they give me it for 7,500 because I paid cash." So now, what's the other guy thinking? Right, okay, you keep large amounts of cash around your person. Literally, a month later, like after, because I remembered this because I knew you'd fucked up saying this. Like, these wasn't nice people that you're having this conversation with. Literally, couple of weeks, couple of months later, I can't remember. He's rang me. He's like, "They fucking done it." I was like, "What do you mean, bruv?" And he's like, "Mate, literally, I've had two geezers come through my door with a gun and take all my money and all my stuff." But I didn't feel bad. I felt bad for him, but at the same time, I knew he brought that on himself. This is a situation that could have been completely avoided by keeping your fucking mouth shut. So don't brag. Someone asks you about your motor and you think they're dodgy, say it's your bums. It don't matter. You need to validate yourself internally. I hope all these help. If you've got any scenarios, situations, questions that you want me to cover, put them in the comments, DM me on Instagram, it's whatever. Please make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. I seen a lot of you, man, are watching my fucking shit and you ain't subscribed. And the subscribers, it really means a lot to me. I want to keep on putting out quality content for people to enjoy and learn from. So Share it out, man. Let's fucking go.